except for the claims docket.
The motion is made and seconded. All those that are in favor? Okay. All those in favor of items 1 through 9? Okay, it passes unanimously. Now we're going to move to claims docket.
Here's the big
I
story.
think we had a little discussion yesterday.
Yes, I had asked about, on page 29, the $9,858 to Pine Belt Oil from the water and sewer.
I'm told that that is, actually, there's some investigation going on about perhaps some fraudulent purchases. There are two vehicle units that are involved that I'm aware of right now, that I've been made aware of today. Those units actually have been parked, and the gas cards apparently were being used, and it is with the police department that they're investigating those charges.
And I understand that we've known about this for some time.
I did not know about it personally until today when I made the call and questioned it. So now, whoever else may have been handling it prior to me becoming involved with it, I'm not sure who may have been addressing it before. I don't know who the police, I don't know who the officer is who's working on it. I don't really have a lot of details.
Mr. Myers and Mr. Cotwell was handling it originally.
Right.
For around June or July. And it was given to the police department, the detective, to start the investigation.
Right.
And the investigator apparently left for another agent. And it was given to another, it wasn't passed on to another detective.
Right.
And so it has been passed on to another detective now.
Right. And you had mentioned that to Kim and I yet last night after the meeting, and I appreciate what you said. But as I thought about it, you know, this has been ongoing for 6 months or so, and people in the administration have known about this, and the council has been given claims dockets where personnel, and I don't know who, but I mean, you have personnel in the administration, whether it's the director of the water department, whether it was the city clerk, whether it was in accounting or whatever, they knew that these charges were fraudulent. And yet we come up and the council approves these claims. Somebody put the 5 of us in jeopardy. And I can tell you, I'm upset about that. I don't like being played like this, you know. And what I want to know is Mayor, you told us that the cards that were first issued were only issued for the police department in West Hattiesburg, the fire department, and yourself.
That's correct.
What I'd like to know is, and I don't see him here, is Mr. Boutwell here? Who authorized Mr. Boutwell to get gas cards?
Well,
Who gave him the authorization that he could get gas cards for his
well,
department?
everybody got it.
To have cards, they were just authorized to be used other than the James Street location. You can use their Pine Belt Oil issued cards,
Right.
and those cards, for whatever reason, someone allowed them to be used at a Pine Belt location.
We have had a few instances in the past where the fuel system has been down and our city vehicles have to get gas. Now, I know in the past, they have been given permission to go to other Pine Belt facilities to get gas. That should have been a temporary situation. I don't know how that was resolved when the fuel system was back up again. Perhaps that was never communicated when we had the system back up again. But that could have been one instance is how it got to the point where other departments would be out using some of the remote locations.
I think the point that needs, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, the thing is that when we found this out, what I don't understand is why we didn't have a better auditing parts. We have cards and the PIN number is written on the back of the card. So anyone could get it and use it. With MDOT, with other counties and cities, the employee has a PIN that he uses, so if he's in a different car, it doesn't matter, the car has a card, but you use the PIN number and you can track who's using it. We have no way of knowing who
When
is
that
tracking.
system was originally installed, that was how it was intended to work. Now, I won't say that there's not upgrades available to that system.
We
from
upgraded a
those-
couple of years ago,
You know,
it was made available.
We should have learned this from Katrina. We had a lot of gas pilferage during Katrina from the gas horn, and we were told by the state auditor at that time that we didn't have the proper measures in place. And we should have known that, especially when we saw the theft 6 months ago. Why didn't we take measures then to,
I
and
can't answer that. I wasn't aware of it. I'm as concerned as you are that I wasn't made aware of it since I'm supposed to be trying to put a budget together.
Well,
And I would
could
think
we
that
find out
purchases would be-
because
Well, first of all, that whole thing about Katrina went through the Attorney General, went through the DA, went through all that. No pilferage was found. None. On the record. If you bring it up, and that is not the case. Secondly, there were things put in place, and we thought when we put that in place, it was proper, that it would work. Nobody, including anybody up here, said that we should have a PIN number. This is what was offered to us, and that's what we decided on. We went to the cards for security purposes, so we would have a record and the PIN number, so that we would be in the trouble we have. Now there's a better way to do it. If there's a better way, we'll go to the better way of doing it. I mean,
well, I'm surprised that we didn't go to that better way 6 months ago when we started having the theft. And the other thing is why didn't we get rid of the cards when we were having the theft? We've gone 6 months, and this council has been, and the abuse is horrendous.
there were cards with
It's, I mean, but Mayor, card number 67 on November the 13th, November 23rd, had expenditures of $84, $92, $72, $68, $44, $55. That was just in, and the 24th, there was only one, but then on the 25th, there were 6 expenditures, all within a matter of an hour or two. And there's got to be somebody in this city that's looking at that and can sit there and say, wait, there's something wrong.
So why wasn't Connie told immediately? I mean, she's in charge of the money.
Why wasn't she told immediately?
Yeah, as soon as you found out there was a problem.
Because she wasn't the clerk at that time.
So Eddie Myers knew
She's in
about
charge
this?
of the-
Yeah, when we first heard that, they made the decision, we were together to take it for an investigation. And that's what the police did. And then the detective left and was not passed on. And
So Eddie Myers knew that this was done, and he was letting this council pass fraudulent claims? No.
No, nothing was passed that was fraudulent. Nobody knew whether it was fraudulent or not. That's why it was given to the
Well,
detective.
it's
You can't tell that that's fraudulent, Mayor?
That was not doing, Eddie Myers not even here then.
I understand that, but it was taking place 6 months ago, the same thing.
There was a question about it or not. That's why it was given to the detective to find out if there was a problem with it. And the detective never gave
All
it.
right, well, and now I'm confused. Okay, I understand you said that Eddie was told 6 months ago, but why wasn't Connie told about this since then? He's been gone for how long?
Oh, I can't answer that question. I wish I could tell you why everybody's not told everything that happens. I found out about it Friday, when I was told that the police was throwing the investigation again. So I can't tell you why between Friday and Monday she wasn't told.
The cards have been canceled. I do know that.
It was canceled last Tuesday.
Could you
Well,
tell me who drove?
they were-
Sometime
Sometime
in the
before
month
then.
of December they were canceled.
I asked you yesterday who drives the 2000 Dodge Caravan, unit number.
They've both been sidelined. They're not issued to anybody. They're just parked.
Right, and yet, this past month, it spent $313.17.
The card assigned for that vehicle is what's been used.
Right,
Now, what the gas got put into, I couldn't tell you,
but we know
those
it
two
wasn't this
those two
big.
vehicles are supposed to be parked and not being used.
But if
So we
it-
can all agree that we have a very broken system.
seems like we should be able to establish limits per vehicle too, as far as monthly purchases. I don't know if that can be done or not. That's some question Pineville Board would have to answer as to whether, if limits can be set, just like you have a limit on your credit card, and that would maybe trigger an alert report. There are reports available to division managers to study. The reason the system was put in was to determine whether vehicles that are aging are using too much gas and they're not running energy efficient. And so those reports are available for people to look at to make that. It helps them and when they come to you for recommendation to replace a vehicle because it's not operating efficiently anymore.
The most important
Evidently,
thing is,
nobody's looking at the reports.
but the most important thing, it has accountability. And that's something that we lack,
Well,
accountability.
at the same time, where the cars were, we've had turnover at Public Works because that's where some of the cars, that's where the cars were issued. Eddie is gone. But there's been some turnover. And at the same time, the Pineville Oil, also one reason we went to this because they were going to be looking, just like your credit card company looks to see if you're overcharging or if that person is using it.
If I'm not mistaken, Pine Belt Oil has said that they have spoken to personnel at the city, not you, Mayor, I can tell you this, they have not talked to you, but someone under you, they told that they had this capability, and Pine Belt Oil was told not to do it, is that correct?
One person came to the meeting. I think you were told that. One person, when they lined up this training meeting, one person came. I don't know who that one person was. They were told of it, they came back, and there was never a recall to come back. And the features are available in the new software, when we went to the new software. We pretty much kept everything the way now and I'm not going to go what he said, she said, but what was suggested, and hopefully the folks that are going to meet with him tomorrow will understand that we need to change the way we do business. You have a card, and then the PIN number will not be written on the back. The employee who is using it, he will have an employee number, and he will use his employee number or her employee number when using the card to trace it to the individual. Not to the card with a PIN number on it that's supposed to be in a car or a van. It's to the individual and holds that individual accountable. That's the way to do it in other companies that do business with Pine Belt Oil in this same system. I learned that we used to do fuel man cards. Fuel man cards did not allow this type of, I guess you could say, fine tuning or getting to the point to an individual to hold some accountability that they wanted, that Pine Belt Oil wanted in the product that they offered to their customers. And that's why they changed. And we just need to get up to speed and make our system accountable too.
But I agree, and one thing we're also doing is making sure that they're not calling somebody in the administration, that they have one person to call, and that's the purchase clerk. And that person, if there's a decision that's made, it comes through one person and not 2 or 3 people calling that nobody can recall who that person is, who they are.
But there is one person who's been calling, who understands when we call it anymore. It's going to go back to the right person.
Okay.
I think that the right person is going to meet tomorrow with some other people.
Well, I would like for Connie to be involved in anything that has to do with money. I mean, she's in charge of it. Connie
Yeah,
has to
the
do the
purchase,
budget and.
the purchase clerk is important, in charge of the purchase.
If I had a broken lock on my front door, and they kept coming in and burglarizing my house, besides calling the police and having an investigation, I think I'd change the lock on my door. Okay? And I just think I just think that we have known for 6 months that we've had pilferage and theft, and this council has been put in the situation of not knowing. I don't know why we weren't told that we had a problem, because we're the people approving this claims docket. And I can tell you, I'm not going to approve these 2 items. I'm going to ask that these 2 items be removed, and I think that we probably have to pay Pine Belt Oil. In fact, I know we have to. But I'm going to ask Deb, on behalf of me, to write to the state auditor and find out how we do. I'm going to get approval from the state auditor before I approve these 2. And I'm going to also ask to go back and look at the ones in the past that we have approved to see, what our limits of, exposure are.
I got 2 points, real quickly this. You have a purchasing agent, that's right. Our liaison that we work with is Connie, and we put a whole lot of faith in and I know I do, and I have ever since she's been here. I believe she needs to be knowing so she can relate to us. I think it's got to be that way. She needs to know what's happening with the money. I know Berlina is the purchasing agent, but she needs to know too, to move
Well, she's not here tomorrow in that meeting.
I understand that, but she needs to understand that what's in place truly has accountability, so when we're signing and approving payments that we know that they're legit. I'm asking about the investigation. Are we going to go down there, because obviously it's somebody, or peoples that are employees of the city, are we going to use polygraph tests?
They're doing all of it.
We're doing all of that,
They're doing all
so
of
we
that.
are
And
going to
done.
turn the thing upside down and work it as hard as we diligently can.
Well, that's the police department. They're investigating, they're doing the taxes or whatever they use in order to make that happen.
But there's no restraints on them, they're going to be able to go
I haven't
forward.
talked
We
to
have
one
our
police
assistant
officer.
chief here, why don't we let him tell us?
Well,
I
I
don't think you need to ask him about it.
put words in his mouth, that's right, put him in the spot, I didn't want to do that.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Is there anything else in this claims docket that is being investigated or should be investigated, or all these other claims okay? You don't
I'm not
know?
aware of anything else. That doesn't mean there's not something going on, just like this one I didn't know about, but I'm not aware of anything. If there was, I would have done something about it, but I didn't know.
Okay. Mr. President, I move we approve the claims docket except for items that I've pointed out. Is there a number associated with that?
Just,
Are you,
it's the two that are to the water and sewer, water transmission, those $9,800, and there's one underneath it.
I'm trying to, let's see, what do you want, a claims number?
if you give me the dollar amount, because there's the check to Pine Belt Oil is gonna have charges from all over the city, so I will
Yeah.
need the specific dollar amount that you have to pay.
Okay, I'll give you this page.
Okay,
How about that?
okay.
And it's
Because what
more.
we'll have to do is void the entire check and reissue it for the amounts you do want to pay.
Because there's some bulk payments and.
Oh, yeah, there's bulk payments to fill the tanks, and then there's the other department charges that are legitimate that need to be paid.
So we'll just deduct that from their check then, is that fair? The motion's to approve
Both of
everything.
those, okay.
Yeah, to approve everything but those two particular items to Pine Belt Oil. That is the motion, there's a second. All those that are in favor, those that are in favor.
I still would like to just have Chief Nyson help to tell us that they are doing everything they can.
Can you give us that?
He doesn't have to tell us specifics.
Yes, ma'am. We are investigating. I cannot give you details of the investigation. I do not want to compromise that investigation, but I can give you,
It's good to hear you say.
yes, ma'am.
I appreciate that.
All right.
There's something I said.
Thank you, Chief, appreciate that very much. Merry Christmas. Everybody, y'all have a Merry Christmas. Happy holiday. And a happy holiday. And everybody sing happy birthday to Mom. It's 50 years old.
The mayor said he learned on Friday, he kind of stammered a little bit and said after the police investigation started back up, like they had an investigation and then it
He said
stopped.
that there wasn't an investigation, but it was stopped, I guess, because the officer doing it left the force.
Wow.
And then it was just brought up back again.
But nothing, even with the investigation going on, the fraud still continued, it appears.
Correct.
Okay.
That's a good assumption. Although I don't know if we can prove it or not. But it's a great, but I can tell you, water and sewer did not use $10,000 worth of gas last month in their vehicles.
That's twice what the whole police department used.
Correct. And we have over 100 vehicles with them. So.